Hello super nerd friends, this is Becky and welcome to Friday! Finally, because this week has been so boring. Yesterday was so boring. I'm so glad that you guys called. I may have suffocated under the boredom if you hadn't. Also, I played Left 4 Dead, which made it slightly less boring. Lots of stuff to say about Left 4 Dead. Mostly I'm really bad at not startling witches because I don't know, and I don't find you can't shine a flashlight on them, but they're zombies and you have to get past them. Maybe they aren't usually right in front of the exit, but this one was, and they attacked me twice, since I'm playing as Bill, and so my health was very bad because two of them. The first one I didn't even see though. I heard her and I was very scared, and I ran through one place thinking I would run past her, and nope, she was still ahead. And then she killed Zoe and Francis, and it was just me and Lewis left. And I never saw her. They killed her themselves, because I was fighting like all the other zombies while they were just fighting the witch, basically. So I don't think I startled that one. I don't think that was my bad. Anyway, it'll be nice to play with some real people, because I don't know these maps, and so I keep leading them in circles. Although that was on the second time through map 3 that I led them in circles. The first time I was fine, so I don't know what that says. But it's very fun. I'm getting thrown up on a lot by boomers, but I was at first, but now I'm learning to kill them quickly. Learning the sounds they make, the boomers and hunters and smokers, witches obviously. Do the smokers make a sound? I'm not sure. I find it weird that smokers have tongues. Yeah, I'm appreciating the competency of the computer, because they save my life a lot, so that's nice. It sucks the third time you fall down, because then everything's black and white. That wasn't fun. So I died on my first time through the third chapter of No Mercy. I think that's the first section. I don't know if things are called sections or chapters or maps or what, but yes, quests, I'm not sure. I took Hannah on a walk yesterday, and it went alright. It was not that long of a walk, but it was a little bit warm, although we were in the shade the whole time. She, she pauses a lot like dogs do to sniff. She was very excited for her walk, but, because she doesn't go out on them very often. She's really bored when we put her in the backyard, but that's I guess because there's no other dog smells in the backyard, so she loved the walk, although our house was in sight, and she couldn't trot anymore, because when she trots, like, I have to walk to keep up with her. Like, she's pulling on the leash and stuff, but at the end she's like, hey, hey, just like going so slow. I'm like, oh, you poor little thing. I almost picked her up out of pity, but she made it back under her own steam. So then I realized I hadn't gotten the mail, so I was like, come on, we're gonna go get the mail. And she's like, no, I can't walk anymore, don't make me. So yeah, that was cute. Yesterday was so boring. I did the dishes and emptied the dishwasher out of my own volition. Yeah. One thing that I've been thinking about to keep me somewhat entertained, I guess I should just, is comparing the Sherlocks, and it's making me want to read Arthur Conan Doyle Sherlock, but I can't read too many books at once. But yeah, I should read that, because from what I've read of it, Sherlock Holmes seems very independent and responsible and competent and individual, and he doesn't need Watson in the books, from what I've read, which is not much. But in all the current adaptations, he is like a child. I mean, Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock's like, Watson, I need you, I'm depressed and sad without you, Watson. And then BBC Sherlock can't cross the street without insulting someone. And then elementary Sherlock is like a puppy, and he's prone to temper tantrums. And so they're all very reliant on their Watson. And although imagine what Benedict Cumberbatch Sherlock would have been like if he and John met under different circumstances, like if John was his sober companion that Mycroft had pushed on him. They may have become friends eventually, but it would have been very different if he hadn't initiated the contact with John looking for a flatmate, you know. And if it was Joan Watson, I don't think he would have talked to her. I think he would have completely ignored her. So, yeah, I can't wait for more Elementary. Yeah, and I mean, Elementary, they're not best buddies at the beginning. They have several little arguments. Although the way that they start out when she walks in was very suggestive. So I do wonder what's in store for them. Yeah, yeah. Anyway, I could talk about Sherlock all day. This is the 4th video I've done now, and I was just gonna upload the last one, and then I looked at my YouTube page, I'm like, oh, I forgot to mention the biggest thing that's ever happened. It happened at the end of yesterday though, so it didn't make yesterday any less boring. But they came out with a preview for season 8 of Supernatural, and it has Dean and Sam hugging when Dean comes out of purgatory, and he's been in purgatory for a year, and Sam has no idea where he's been. Dean and Cass are stuck in purgatory. Yeah, so, and they showed Cass in purgatory, like huddled up and all dirty on the edge, and like he was crazy, like actually insane when we left him in season 7. So we're all kind of concerned. Anyway, that was really, really big, and so Tumblr was exploding with I'm mostly going to be talking about Perks of Being a Wallflower. But yeah, I've been very bored. I've been trying to do something with my hair, and I'll go back to Perks of Being a Wallflower in a second. Yeah, I tried to make it like nice, but it has this stupid wave going on, and I can't control that because I'm bad with the round brush. And so then I try to do tousled, because tousled should be easy, right? But when I blow dry, it just gets like frizzy. And so maybe I should actually start using conditioner. That might help. So I'll try that one of these days. But yeah, I feel like I should look kind of nice if I'm being a cashier, you know. Yeah. Oh, here's my shirt though. My shirt looks nice. See, that's the Jim Henson and Kermit that Joanna got me from Tea Fury. Yay! Adorable. Yes. So, Perks of Being a Wallflower. I got up at 6:30 this morning because Hannah was barking for half an hour, which apparently my parents let her do. They just let her bark for like letting her alarm go off for half an hour. It's horrible, and usually I don't hear it, but I heard it this morning. Because for some reason, when you're really excited for a day, like you can't, like Christmas or something, you can't sleep, right? Apparently when you're really not anticipating a day, like when you really don't want a day to happen and you're like, it's going to be so boring, please just be over, you don't want to wake up and you want to sleep forever. I was going to sleep in until noon so the day would be half over. But no, I woke up at 6:30 and I could not go back to sleep. So I read Perks of Being a Wallflower. It took like an hour and a half for part 2, so yeah, I wasn't actually going to talk about it, but then too much time, and so yeah, part 2 was good. So you guys have to read that before continuing on. Please do. You lazy people, if you haven't already. I can't call anyone lazy, but I just did. Okay. Anyway, I listened to Asleep because he's been talking about Asleep a lot. And it was kind of simple. I don't know what I expected. I haven't listened to the Smiths very much. But it was okay. I'm glad it's meaningful to him, but I don't know, and I guess it's kind of the context in which you hear a song first, too, that has a lot to do with what a song means to you, I guess. Although, for him, when you listen to it first, it was because his sister's boyfriend gave it to her, so, anyway, I guess it's kind of your mood, then. I guess I'm in a bored mood, so the song bored me. But one of the questions in the discussion questions in the back of the book is, like, what significance do you think all the literature and songs have that he brings up? The only thing I could think of was that maybe it rounds out his character, that he likes this literature and that he actually enjoys reading books for school and stuff. I usually enjoy the books we read for school. Most of the books he's reading, though, I haven't read. But I think it maybe adds to the wallflower, the not participating in life bit, that he reads so much. Darn! No! That he, yes, the literature, just because that's not really participating in life, I guess. I mean, it's not being social, anyway. But, I'm liking his character. At the beginning, I kind of associated Charlie with Sam and his older brother as Dean, but now they're their own characters in their own right. Too much AU fanfiction. I mean, a younger 17. Anyway, I didn't mention Supernatural at all in my last video, which is why I had to do this one. Yeah, so at the end of part 2, he said that he finally understood the end of the poem, and it was Craig and Sam, and then before that he was talking about couples being happy, and, you know, if you're happy, then you're happy for them, but if you're not happy, then their happiness makes you angry. And it's a bit more than that with him and how he feels about Sam and Craig, because she kissed him, which really sucks for him. And I wonder where their relationship is going, and I feel like they should just be friends. But, yeah. But if the end of the poem is, if suicide is what he's talking about, and them being together is making him feel suicidal, that it just seems kind of strange that that is what would make him feel that, and not some other emotion other than suicide. When in part 1 his friend committed suicide, you'd think that would maybe make him, I don't know, it's different when it's your friend, and he couldn't really understand that. But then everything he's been going through with his aunt around his birthday. So, and maybe it's Craig and Sam on top of all that stuff. And maybe it's not suicide, maybe it's more the feeling of absolutely nothing, which is what the 4th part of the poem was kind of about. So I don't know, maybe your thoughts on... And the poem itself was... I thought it was strange. I haven't looked it up on Google. I could probably find it there as long as it's actually a real poem. It's interesting that they don't say who it's by. Maybe it's not an actual poem. But I thought everyone's reaction to it was strange. And then he wrote the poem out in his letter. And so I thought their reaction was kind of strange to it. It's very deep. But it doesn't seem to have that much to do with his life. Because it's like things slowly degrading throughout this person's life. Like when they're young, it's great. Then maybe it's, you know, growing up and a loss of innocence and seeing the world differently. But things are, you know, getting worse. Which isn't exactly what his story is about. Yeah. Anyway, another thing, his family dynamic. He has a crazy family. And at the beginning of one of his letters, he asked, what do you think about your family holidays? And at that point, I realized, oh, he's writing, because that was a very personal question, and you know, we have family holidays, and so, and that made me realize who the friend is. It's the reader. Because at first, in like the first couple of letters, I'm like, who is he writing to? At first I thought it was Sam, or Emma Watson's character. That's what I expected at first. But then I looked back after, you know, realizing that it's the reader, and it says, you could have slept with that person at that party. And so it's very gender neutral, like, oh, he's writing to the reader. That's one of the questions in the back, too, like, who do you think he's writing to? So I think it's the reader. But yeah, his family is crazy. First his grandpa reminded me of my grandpa, because my grandpa was very stubborn. But we never really had fighting at our family holidays, which I appreciate. But we never had alcohol either. The brother-sister dynamic I find interesting, just because I don't know much about brother-sister duos, you know? I mean, I don't have a brother, obviously. But the way Charlie sticks up for his older sister is sweet. And then, you know, the older brother and sister are fighting, which would be horrible. I hate fighting in the car. And I hate it when people turn up the music in the car when you're fighting. That'd be horrible. But I found it very endearing when his mom was still concerned that his older brother would get hurt when they were watching the recorded game. My mom would, that's exactly like my mom. She loves to know, I mean, she can't stand the tension, you know. If she doesn't know if they're going to win, she'd much prefer to watch it after she knows that they're going to win. Or a movie that she knows, you know, this character isn't going to die. She's like, no, just tell me they're not going to die, then I can enjoy it. I'm like, Mom, that would spoil it. No, I can't enjoy it. So, Yeah, I believe that was all I had to say, and my mom interrupted me, so I don't know how long this video is, but I think it's long enough. So I will bid you guys a good day, and I will talk to you. Have really good weekends, and I hope they're not boring. Mine should be going uphill. No, it shouldn't. It's gonna be so boring. Haley, get better internet, and Alexis, get a better microphone. Yeah, have good weekends, and I will talk to you guys later. Alright, bye.